at least I don't know. Like the way I was brought up, was I'd say, you can't spank your kids anymore, for instance. Like that could get you in a lot of trouble. Uh, but I mean, part of the reason I did come back here, or another part of it, is so that it would be like, because I knew how to raise kids around here, kind of like I knew what was how the school works, and
Hmm.
I knew how little league works. So mostly to me, it's like this is more familiar than. But the big difference, I guess, that I'm always thinking about, my kids aren't the same race as me. I don't, like, I always worry they're gonna have. I've not seen any problem, actually, none.
Hmm.
I can't, so I'm not like
That's good.
complaining. But you get in your mind that, oh, they're gonna have people are going to give them a hard time. They're going to get bullied, or they're going to be confused. That, like, I'm careful not to say they're half white, because I don't want them feeling like they're half anything.
Yeah.
Like it. But I don't know, from their point of view. I've wondered. I'm like, I don't like. uh it's not anything I ever considered before. But at the moment, I've seen no evidence that it is anything like that. It's affecting them in any way negatively. Like, I'd say it's if anything, it's positive, because they get like a little bit more culture from their mother's side, like language and stuff that I didn't get. And there's no, I don't feel like they've been excluded or looked on differently, or seen like, yeah. So
Oh, that's awesome.
that'd be the thing that I'd say is the most difference for me having kids, because I married someone outside of my world.
Mhm. Well, that's good. It almost might be that today's society, we're a lot more accepting of each other's different cultures and backgrounds, and where in if you turn on the news, you hear the worst case scenarios of a lot of stuff, and you're all these people not getting along. But I found in teaching, that's been one of the things I think I see a lot more acceptance of each other's differences. Now granted, kids are gonna be kids. Kids are gonna be jerks, and they're gonna try to say the one thing that's most hurtful, because that's how kids can be. But
Yeah.
it seems like there's more of an excitement of sharing different, and it's not just with culture. Sometimes it's like this kid's into anime, or this kid's into this one cool video game, and kids are a lot more like interested in hearing about it rather than, oh, that's stupid, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't got any, because we're out here where, a lot of people would say this is, well, people told me when I moved here, they said, "Oh, you better live in Charlottesville. You don't want to live with all those rednecks." But this is where I'm from, and I thought, I mean, I don't really see Charlottesville is like farther away and it's more expensive. I couldn't see any other reason, but it did make me think, are they right? Is
Yeah.
my wife and kids going to have a harder time? I did like wonder, and now I like, yeah, it's not at all been like that. And I check in with my wife too. I'm like, I'm not seeing this wrong, am I? She said that she's told me that Singapore was a more racist place than than Redneck America, and I
Yeah.
believe, yeah, and from what I saw there, I believe that's true, because there is like this pecking order in the Asian world of like the Chinese are considered on the top, Chinese, Koreans, and then you go down to the like Filipinos and Indonesians. If you're from the poorer Asian countries,
Hmm.
they know, they used to, like, people would assume that my wife was our maid, was the employee of her children, and she got some. It wasn't too bad, like it wasn't like terrible,
Yeah.
terrible, but there were some incidents that kind of stuff never happens here. Somebody like got onto her something about garbage in the library, and it was nothing to do with her. This one, it's like things like that. Just
Yeah.
it made assumptions because of her race. But
I found a lot of more rural parts of like Virginia and North Carolina are more friendly than we might give them credit for. A
yeah,
lot more like, hey, like mom and pa, come on in, I'll cook you something, that kind of
well, yeah,
mentality.
and like I got a message the other day from a friend of mine. He's like, I don't know how you live there. Like he thinks that like people were just patrolling the streets with guns, and like it's
Yeah.
just. And I mean, I'm in the country. I hear gunfire quite regularly. It's like people are real like gun enthusiasts out here. but it's always been that way, always. Like,
Hmm.
and it's not a frightening thing. But it's something about the news that we have to be careful about. Like taking that at face value. I'm no expert on it.
Hmm.
I don't want to say something dumb, but I think we should all watch less of it. You know.
Yeah, I think we or catch new episodes of Mental Health Mondays every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Start your week off with a smile and some inspiration.